Get in on the action this season with Underdog's Pick'em game. Select higher or lower between 2 and 8 players and compete for up to 325 times your entry. Use code DIRECTOR when signing up to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick. Go to Bolt Fam, it's the Director. Chargers fans, I'm so super stoked about this one, man. It's been an awesome offseason, right? The speculation is high. We're in the Jim Harbaugh year 2, season. Justin Herbert's got weapons, but you know what the biggest piece of news is right now? We got new uniforms. We got new alternates coming in, baby. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff, man. The Chargers have the cleanest look in all of the NFL. Let's build on it, baby. What are they cooking in LA for the new uniforms? For those of you guys that don't know, the Chargers did just announce that we are getting a new alternate uniform coming July 15th. That's when the announcement's going to be. We got a lot of fun speculation on what that could be, a lot of fan art, a lot of, examples of what could be coming in. But, man, I'm super stoked about it, man. This team's always cooking when it comes to the uniforms, and I think it's going to be an awesome, new, intimidating look. Something that puts a stamp on the Jim Harbaugh era. You know what I mean? It's going to be awesome. Let's get into it, man. Before we do, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog. Use code DIRECTOR to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Newcomers, take advantage of the offer on screen. It's a great way to enjoy sports while having some fun along the way and really supporting my platform. Thank you to everybody who does so. Before we do kick off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. A small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification. Helps me out a lot. Let's get into it. Lights, camera, action.
Who's got it better than us?
Into the end zone, Charger fans are witnesses to history!
We got new uniforms. We got new uniforms coming in. I know some people may not really care. It's not one of those videos about the team, we'll kind of be. We're going to talk a little bit about mini camp and some of the things that we learned at the very end here, but mostly I want to focus in on what's going to be an awesome experience ushering in a new look for the team, man. I think the last time that we had a change was in 2020, right? We brought in the new looking uniforms, the ones that we have now, and honestly, at first it was like, okay, let's see what happens. When they announced it and I saw the new look and I saw the new design, I was absolutely blown away. And that's where the expectation is for me at this point, too. With the Chargers, their design team, their social media team, everything about the team, the way they look and the way they've branded themselves has been the best in the NFL, in my opinion. So let's speculate a little bit. First off, the announcement of the Chargers alternate uniforms. A little bit of clarity here for anybody that's wondering. For one, they are not going to change the primary uniforms for the season, which means that the classic powder blues, the uniforms that we've been known by, maybe as the best uniforms in the NFL, that is not changing, and that is the right call. This is definitely the best jersey in all of sports, and I want to keep it that way, man. So that's not going to be changing. Instead, we are introducing two new alternate jerseys, two new alternate uniforms that will be, announced on July 15th. Now, they did mention it is two of them. So it could be a couple different things. It could be a home and away version, maybe an alternate version. Somebody said maybe there's one with the outline of the bolt on the helmet and one that is, filled in with white, like some of the classic looks. Two jerseys are going to be announced on the 15th. This has been speculated for a while, by the way. There was an announcement at the top of the season that we would be getting an alternate helmet this year, but it looks like the Chargers are going the extra mile and doing two new completely new looks, which is great, man. Some of the best jerseys in the NFL, in my opinion, like the Bengals, are stuff that was recently put into circulation for the team. What I mean by the Bengals is that new white, uniform that they have, the white Tigers. I think those are super clean. They're one of the newer jerseys in the NFL, and I think the Chargers have an opportunity to do something very similar here with what they're going to be ushering in on the 15th. And by the way, it was also mentioned here, maybe not on this post here, but it's been mentioned several times that there's also going to be a new merch launch on that date as well. I'm thinking I'm going to get me a few jerseys, man. I've been waiting on the Omari and Hampton jersey because I wanted to see what number he ends up with if we end up keeping, Haskins as you go back to 28. But more so than anything, I want a new jersey of the new looks. I'm guessing we're going to get two new jerseys with maybe some of the rookies from this season, which is going to be pretty fun, man. So get excited for that. That is what's happening. But the expectation, like I mentioned before too, is very, very high. Some of the speculation as we go into what they're going to look like, I think it may draw inspiration from some of the years of past of the Chargers uniforms, right? And also a really good outlook as to why the Chargers have been some of the best looking teams and some of the best looking uniforms in sports for a long time. Ever since the beginning, man, I think the lightning bolts over the shoulders, over the helmet has been a very, clean, intimidating look, starting, with the Navy over the top, throwback to, the Navy of San Diego and Los Angeles and all that kind of stuff, the military in that area. Some of the classics that, fans absolutely in love with, the 60s. I think these went all the way into like the 70s, right? So yeah, some of this very similar look between 61 and 66, changed it up a little bit in 67. I think this is where we start drawing in some of the, fan favorites from 72, from 73, in the 70s, man. Here comes some of the what you call it, royal blue or classic blue, some of the navy in there too. Reminds me of Kellen Winslow. I love how they put the jerseys of some of the classic players in there. Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow. But yeah, I would have to assume as we come down all the way down here to 88, this is probably my best guess as to the uniform that we're going to be drawing inspiration from, the 80s, right? The Chargers had different variations from the 80s and the early 90s of how the Navy was integrated onto the uniforms. And I think this is going to really fall into the marketing that they have been putting out there as of late. This, dark, storm, we are the storm kind of, brand that they've been pushing the last couple of seasons, which is really, really cool. And it does throw back to some of the best years in Chargers football, right? It reminds me a lot of LaDainian Tomlinson. When he broke the record in that uniform, right? The throwback from the 80s and the 90s. And it really does bring that intimidation factor. It reminds me of Low Neal. It reminds me of Sean Merriman. It reminds me of Sean Phillips and some of these guys back. We see this throwback quite a bit for the Chargers in the mid-2000s. And I don't know, man. Really, really cool stuff. This is one of my favorite uniforms, one of my favorite helmets. You guys will notice, we'll go to the wide shot here. Right behind me, I have a signed LaDainian Tomlinson Navy helmet. That's my favorite Chargers helmet of all time. And I would assume that we're going to see something inspired by that with some of these alternate jerseys. Now, some of the leaks that we've seen so far, if you guys are looking for like some official information, there hasn't been much released. Obviously, there's going to be a big, reveal on the 15th. They want to have this, big, celebration or whatever moment for it, which we're all about. I'm very excited for it, and that's the way I would hope that it is done. But from some of the leaks that we've seen, it does look like maybe this could be a misdirection. This could be the real thing. It does look like we're maybe getting a white and a dark variant, or a home or away variant, which would be very, very cool. And some of the speculation that we're seeing from this is maybe a gray variant with maybe a black variant. We have to wait and see, officially what that looks like. But again, maybe these are early concepts. Maybe this isn't what we actually officially see. But it does look like it's going to be very different from what we're used to as Chargers fans, which would be very, very cool. I'm hoping that we see a few games with these, at least 4 to 6 home games with, the irregular powder blues, and then a few, alternate games with these particular jerseys would be awesome. I would love to see the Chargers with like a nice variety this season because, yeah, those look pretty awesome. Let's get into some of the speculation here, too, as to, how we can continue to find out a little bit more. What's really funny, too, somebody pointed this out on my Twitter. This frame from the teaser video that they put out, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but if you zoom really far in, right, I don't know if you guys can read it. Over at the top of the jerseys, it says, LOL, you tried. You guys probably can't see it on the video. I have it kind of bright on one of my monitors here so I can read it. But on the left one, it says LOL. On the right, it says you tried. They're not going to be unveiling anything too early if they can help it. Again, the inspiration, I think, behind the jersey may be in the Jim Harbaugh era. This was kind of part of the thought process here is that, they have this look in Michigan that he's been associated with for, majority of his career. It's something that, I took inspiration from when doing some Photoshop very early before we had Jim Harbaugh on the staff. I was like, okay, maybe the Chargers are going to move into this, dark vibe, this intimidation vibe that's reminiscent of what Jim Harbaugh used to look like in Michigan. And I honestly do think that, that's part of the inspiration here and part of what we're actually going to see, coming in the unveiling in 1 month from now. Man, it feels like a an eternity. But next month we got the first Chargers game on the 31st. We got the new alternate jersey reveals. July is going to be very, very fun, but the wait until then is driving a lot of us crazy. But there's your Michigan vibe. And also, again, it reminds me of that alternate that LaDainian Tomlinson would so often wear. And that's something that I really feel that it would really resonate with a lot of fans, right? It feels like it's throwing back to the classics, really giving us that new, vibe of back when we were actually a good running team. That's probably the last time we were a really intimidating running team was LT. There was some spots here and there with Melvin Gordon and Ryan Matthews, but, this is really what we want to throw back into. And I do think an homage to the classics would certainly help their case here. And this is also one I think a lot of Chargers fans would be very excited to see. This is another throwback. Again, this is to the 70s, the 60s, 70s, which I would be very happy with. Me personally, I love these jerseys. They feel very superhero-esque. This is the classic superhero versus what I'm wearing now, the modern superhero. Love those jerseys. I would be ecstatic if that ended up being one of the new alternates. This feels more like the Jim Harbaugh era choice, which, either way, you're not going to go wrong there. So let's get in with some of the fan art, some of the speculation that we've seen. Let's start here. Boltbeat did put this out a little while ago. It's a ChatGPT image maker. You go into the AI and describe what you're trying to look for. So this is some of the reactions. They say that, maybe the fans are a little bit split. This is where you guys in the comment section come in clutch. Tell me some of the ones that you were excited about. Some of the ones that resonate with you that you would like to see. You can timestamp it. You can just describe it in the comment section. Which ones are you guys excited for? Some of the first ones, ChatGPT. Again, these are not going to be very accurate, to what they actually look like or, what a different mock-up could be. It's from an AI, but maybe an idea of what some of these things could look like. Me personally, I'll tell you right now, and it may be the same with all the shoulders on these. I don't like the way the lightning bolt looks on these particular uniforms. It reminds me of what the Broncos did with their new alternates that look just absolutely awful. As far as the color scheme goes, I don't hate it. I like the white inside of the 10 or side of the numbers. But, it's if we were to rate it 1 through 10, this would be like a soft 4 for me. This is another concept a lot of Chargers fans have been talking about. What if we went straight yellow, right? And this is a jersey that I feel like I see every time I go to Thunder Rally, every time I'm at a Chargers, organized event. There's some Chargers fans out there wearing that pure yellow jersey, which, again, I don't know if I would hate it. I think that it does pop. I think it's definitely unique. I would rate it maybe like a 6 personally. I'm not a huge fan of the all yellow. But if they really committed to it and made a really cool design behind it, I think I can get up to a 7 or 8. This particular mock-up here, yeah, it's probably going to stick around at 6 for me. It's cool. I would be about it, but it's not my first choice. Then coming down here, the black. We may end up seeing a midnight version of the Chargers, which I think would be really sick, right? And I think that's technically what our Navy jerseys are called now, right? Which I'm a big fan of. Not everybody likes them. They've been associated with losing. We haven't won in them yet, which, of course, that's going to come into account here. But I think they're a really nice design. For a black alternate, I can get about it. I think it's going to be tricky because I think you need to mix in a couple of colors. If you go straight powder blue, you're going to look like the Carolina Panthers. If you go straight yellow, you're going to look like the Steelers, right? This, I can kind of get behind it. I kind of do like the white helmet on top of it still, but I almost want a color rush feeling. You guys remember that? Back in the day, when was that? It had been like the mid, 2010s, right? Like 2015, 2016. The Color Rush program they had for a while where it almost looked like, I don't know, college jerseys. It reminded me of like Notre Dame and Oregon. Like we just a huge splash of color. I loved those. I thought that was awesome. If we get something like that, I think I'd be a big fan of it. But for now, this one I'm going to give like a 5. I like the black, maybe even lower, like a 4. I don't like the way that the colors have been, and again, this is ChatGPT, right? This one, we're going to give a flat out 1. I'm not a fan of camo in any shape or form. No, no tie-dye either, right? The camo, tie-dye, I probably should have said tie-dye. It looks silly to me. That's not one I can get behind. Let's get behind some other ones that we were looking at. Was this William Moran? You guys know him from the Chargers community? He was on my Twitter. I think that's the one who posted this. This one, honestly, it looks super clean. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're looking for a pure lightning, like that could be the theme of it too, the lightning and the thunder, right? If you're looking for the lightning, I mean, that looks so friggin' cool, dude. Again, it looks a little too much like the Steelers, but it looks so clean. The way the lightning contrasts with the black, You know, I love the outline of the numbers of the lightning bolt on the helmet. I like the number. Some people don't like the number. I like the number. I really do like this jersey. So much so that even though it looks a lot like the Steelers, I would still give it an 8, man. Like, I would be stoked if it looked something like this. And honestly, looking at some of the leaks that we were looking at before, let's see, where is that image back here? This actually kind of looks the most like, if it's gonna be the leak, if it ends up being that, which again, I'm gonna say it could end up not being that. This could be a misdirection or whatever, but if it ends up being that, this kind of looks the closest to what that image sort of looks like. And honestly, like that, I would be about it. I think it looks awesome. Again, it looks a little like the Steelers, but I don't care. That is a mean looking jersey. That is all of a sudden like the top alternate jersey in the NFL. Them and the Bengals. Like, that is very, very clean. Here comes another black alternate, which again, I'm okay, you know, with this one. It's not the best design. If you're gonna go with the black alternate, I do like the idea of trying to integrate the powder blue and the yellow, and I think this is maybe one of the best ways you would accomplish that. I would give this one, what was the last black one I gave, like a 4? I would give this one like a 6. Like, I would be fine with that. Between the two, like that just screams so much more, you know, cleanness. I don't know. It's the drip level is off the charts with this one compared to this one. So I think I'd be okay with this one, but give me the yellow one for sure. So this one here, this one is something I've seen roaming around for a little while. There's another version of it. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. That has a matte helmet. I might actually like the matte helmet a little bit more, but I don't mind this one either. This one is definitely a nice, you know, round out version of the jerseys that we have now that really pushes the outline of the bolt into the foreground, which I'm going to say I don't hate. Maybe if you're going to commit to that look, try just the outline of the numbers too, but I don't know. This looks fine to me. This looks like a modernization of the classics in a lot of ways. I personally like it a lot. I would give it a 7, right? I think that it's new, it's fresh, it's a take on the classics that puts a brand that's fresh and new on the Chargers now. You know, it reminds me of these jerseys that I'm wearing now. Like, it's a throwback to the classics, but it's modern, it's sleek, and I like it a lot. So honestly, I do like these. Not everybody likes this particular one. I would be very cool with it. I think it would be. I don't know if it's the best, you know, option. But I would definitely sport it. I would be very happy with it. The helmet, I think, really brings the whole thing together. I want that intimidation factor and the color rush factor that we were talking about. This next one, I think this is a simple version of the next one I'm going to show you, which this one, I do like it a lot. It's a little simpler than the one that I was thinking of, but I think simplicity is definitely not a bad thing here. And this is definitely a throwback, you know, to what we were showing before in the LT jersey like this. Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot. I think this is definitely the direction I would go in. This is maybe the cleaner version of that same one. This, me personally, this is where I would go with it. I think this is a fantastic, you know, homage to the classics while also bringing some sleek, you know, newness to it. It looks new enough, right? It looks like the design that I'm wearing now, but in navy, which I'm very, very happy to see, man. Yeah, that definitely has my vote. Let's go back to LT for a second here. Where'd you go, LT? Yeah, it definitely feels like a nice combination of, there it is. Nice combination of what we had in the past. Very classic look, very intimidating for the time, and then just meshed with the new. Like, if I had to put my stamp of approval on any of them, I think this is like a 10 for me. I think like a 9 maybe. There's maybe a little bit more you could do to make it stand out just a little bit, but it's near perfect in my opinion. What I would personally do is either this jersey or this jersey as far as the dark alternates go. I wish I would have found more light alternates. There wasn't really much available in terms of like fan art and stuff like that. I would guess that maybe they have a brighter tone to them that looks kind of like our away jerseys. Now, there were some people that put out, let me see if I ended up grabbing some more. I did. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a whole lot more to look at. This is kind of what I was talking about as far as maybe a lighter gray, you know what I mean, in terms of that could look kind of sick. This is one I saw several years ago, but in terms of what I would do, I really, really like this Justin Herbert. That's kind of the direction that I would go. Some other ones, if you guys wanted some, different examples. Again, here's the all yellow on the top left. This is coming from LA Football Network. The all yellow, again, I can get behind. The other one that I thought was kind of neat was the all powder blue helmet, too. The powder blue helmet with the powder blue jersey. I think that's pretty sick. I honestly would be cool with, again, because it reminds me of the Color Rush. Maybe even go powder blue with the pants. I don't know. But I really like the Color Rush, aspect to the whole thing. The royal blue on the bottom left, I can get behind that, too. But I think if you're either going to commit to one or the other color, I would like the powder blue or the navy. At this point, there's the Keenan Allen we showed you a second ago. Here's another look at the powder blue. I do like that. If I'm going to be honest with you, I like that. If I were to rate it, I'd give it like a 7. Again, maybe in and around the same realm as that like outline jersey that we saw. I like it a lot. This is one that I could get behind too. I think the helmet really helps draw it in and make it really fun. But again, what are we looking for in terms of the newness, the new Jim Harbaugh era? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, that's going to be our options. Some of the fan art. Again, at least what we've been speculating as a fan base for a while here. You guys already know my preference. This is going to be the one that I go with as far as the dark jerseys are concerned. I would be very happy with this one too. I think this is a bold move. It's very different. It's a little reminiscent of another team, but it's so different and fresh. It reminds me of our version of what the Bengals got with their white tiger. It stands out really, really nice. So this one, like an 8 or a 9, and then this one would be like a 9 or a 10 for me. I think both of those are absolutely fantastic. If you guys want to know what my official guess is going to be, based on speculation, based on things that I was reading and I heard, earlier in the season, I would guess that the Chargers are probably cooking something up in the realm of this jersey. My official guess is going to be something close to this, where you have a full helmet and head to toe design of the alternate like outline jersey that we already have. Maybe a fresh take on some of the numbers, or a little changes here and there. But I do think this would be my official guess. My preference would probably be, again, this one right here. But you guys let me know in the comment section below what you think. All right. Now, to quickly wrap up this video, it's actually was hitting the mark that I was hoping for at this point. We'll just kind of lightly go over this. Some of the things that we learned from minicamp. As we, again, I'm probably unnecessary at this point of the video, but I wanted to talk about this because it now time of reflection that minicamp has ended. OTAs, or is OTAs officially done too? I know that that was finishing up as well. Some of the things that I'm walking away from as a fan that I'm very excited about. And we'll kind of zoom through these. Trey Harris looks awesome. I think he's going to be a sensational player for this team as a wide receiver too. Maybe even as early as the first few weeks in the season. He's already looking to stand out in camp. He's looked awesome. It's someone that Justin Herbert's going to want to basically utilize in a lot of the same ways that Mike Williams has been utilized. I really think that Trey Harris is going to be a great number 2 for this team, and a great pairing with Ladd McConkey. Again, it feels like the newness, Ladd McConkey and Trey Harris to what was Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I'm feeling good about it. Derwin James has looked absolutely spectacular in camp too. We haven't talked too much about that, but he's been making plays on plays on plays. He's been freed up a whole ton because of Elijah Molden and RJ Mickens and Tony Jefferson, all these guys that we have backing up in the backup safety spots. It's been awesome. The running back room looks phenomenal. This is the best running back room I've seen as a Chargers fan since LaDainian Tomlinson, I think, which is a bold statement because, Melvin Gordon was really good. At least in his for a few seasons while he was with the Chargers, and Austin Eckler was really good. And Ryan Matthews for a while was really, really good. I think this is all the best that we've seen since LT. I'm going to put my stamp on that now. A lot of talk about Joe Alt ascending. The offensive line, and the way that they're trying to tinker with it. This is going to be a big storyline as we get closer to camp. That's going to be awesome. Rondé Gadsden, man, this is going to be the story. The guy that we were watching throughout the course of the preseason, the training camp and all that stuff. This guy has been the breakout stud. He's been insane. The Chargers may have an awesome weapon in him. But I think the moral of the story here is that the offense looks completely transformed, and we should be very excited as a Chargers fan base. Again, stuff I wanted to get off my chest, things that I've been talking about. We'll do another video kind of wrapping up some of the offseason stuff, but mostly about the uniforms. What do you guys think about the Chargers' new uniforms this season? How do you feel about some of the concepts that we went through, some of the inspiration? I do think that the Harbaugh tie-in is very appropriate for this era. I think that, some of the bold concepts really catch me and inspire me and put a stamp on the Harbaugh era. This would be an awesome jersey to put in my collection, and then just a throwback to the classics too, with a modern spin. I feel like that's definitely the way to go. But you guys let me know what you think. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. If you like what you saw here, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up, stay frosty. Yeah, give me those navies, those classic Navy throwbacks, man. I think that'd be awesome.